think it's weird how you know someone as a cousin growing up with them, and then you don't talk to them for a while, and then you meet them again and you realize that they're doing the same stupid stuff that you're doing, getting into drugs and everything.
With the drugs within my family, I have experienced it with both a daughter and a son, both of my children. It brought a lot of pain into our life, and it's very difficult to overcome. For a very long time, I blamed myself for the issue. It wasn't until I started going to meetings to try to help my children to get help for themselves that I learned that this wasn't something that I did to cause it, and that all I could do was be strong and show tough love, which is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do.
What was my drug of choice? I would have to say opiates, pain pills, mostly. My doctor prescribed me pain pills before I knew what they were, so I ended up taking a lot of them and feeling sick and not knowing why I was sick, and then realizing it was from the drugs and that I was addicted to them.
Right. What drug abuse has been in my family, what drugs have done to my family. I've had alcoholics in both my mom and dad's side of the family, alcohol abuse, and then I think that's hereditary, and both of my kids have been affected by drugs. They hurt you, they steal from you, but I don't think they do it on purpose. I think it's the drugs, and it's a terrible thing.
How did I stop doing drugs? I got pregnant with my son, and a miracle from God, I got onto the methadone program and was able to quit doing drugs and stay clean.
Example of it is that my daughter stole my debit card and emptied out my checking account, and I had to file charges on her because I knew the best thing for her to keep her alive and to keep her in the world with us would be for her to go to jail to pay the consequences for what she had done, and hopefully get herself dried out while she was in there. And so that was probably one of my worst experiences with her calling, and I was crying because I knew if I picked up the phone that I would have to go down there and get her, and my heart was just truly broken.
Drugs have basically broken my body down, made my teeth real brittle, made my body not function properly anymore, feel older than what I should feel.
And then my son, similar things. At one time, both of them living on the streets because we couldn't trust them to let them in our house. It was very sad, but I am glad to say that both of them are on the right track, and they're going into the right direction now. But every day is a new day, and we have to treat it as a new day and continue to go on with our lives. And then hopefully the state and others will come up with a program that will help other people out there that are in the same situation so that we can get rid of this epidemic.
What I remember about Kelly growing up was going to Thunder over Louisville with her, hanging out with them in the summer times, going to the zoo and having picnics and stuff, and just growing up with her. I think a lot towards the end she was different than what she was growing up. I got to know her better towards the end, and I don't think that she intentionally overdosed or knew what she was doing either. I think that if more kids and more younger teenagers were more educated about the drugs and getting addicted to them so easily, that maybe that could save most of them.
Kelly was a sweet kid growing up. She was always smiling, always cheerful. Um, I didn't see her a whole lot, but she was uh, she was sweet. I always remember her being nice and everything like that. And I could tell when she was growing up. I could tell as she grew up, things were things were dropping off. She wasn't so close as she was when she was smaller, younger. But she was sweet.
Well, Kelly didn't live long. But, for the most part, as just a young girl, she was defined by her sports activities. She loved to play soccer, but she played other stuff, and did pretty well in school. And she got older, and she found the wrong people to run with, and that kind of changed things. But she did just play soccer up until our last year of school, uh, and just she got diverted to the wrong kind of thing. She really wasn't involved in drugs very long, maybe a few months, but it didn't take long. It doesn't take long.
Joe called me up one afternoon. I was at work and asked me to go get Debbie, her mom, Kelly's mom. And I went and picked Debbie up from her work, and we met over at Vucare Apartments. Kelly was dead, and the coroners were holding her body there, waiting for us to get there, so that they could see her one more time. Kelly had went out the night before with some friends, and she was partying, and she partied too much.
She was a very outgoing, beautiful young lady. I always enjoyed her company because she always brought a smile to my face. And I know that she was out with some friends, and some friends decided that they would each take pills that they didn't know what they were taking, and unfortunately she did not make it through. Very devastating to our entire family. We loved her very much and we miss her, and I would ask that other teenagers, when they're involved in situations like that, to make a good choice and say no.
About where I'm coming from my perspective right now, is I would like to tell anybody, you and your drug usage, and especially if it kills you, affects so many people around you, that if for no other reason than that, just consider it before you start getting into dangerous activity, what your death would do to the people around you, because it has completely devastated Kelly's mother and me, and a lot of us. I mean, we've all had to grieve a bit, and it's just so sad and senseless.
My advice to drug users is to stop as soon as possible. The party can't continue forever, and you're only going to end up one of three places, that is jail, rehab, or death. And you don't want to end up dead, because everybody in your family will hurt because of your choices in life. I lost a cousin to overdosing from drugs, and it's been really hard for us to deal with.
I don't have any advice for families in my situation. Um, I would have given myself that advice. It's tough, but your family. What else are you gonna do? You try to help one another. You don't leave anybody behind. Never do that.